Hello, welcome back to Crafting Creativity. If this is the very first time you've ever clicked on one of these videos, this is the 5th installment in a series around how to build an art practice as well as come up with original ideas. If you're stuck with trying to think up new ways of making art, new ideas that are fresh and never done before, I have spoken in episode 1 about the dilemma that some people have around knowing how to make art, being incredibly good at making art, but not knowing how to make original ideas come to life, or even how to have an original art idea. Today I'd like to talk about one of my favorite things because it's so much fun, and that is how to explore new ways of making art, new materials, new processes in order to trigger that inspiration. And sometimes using a new process, the process of using the process can actually make you want to push that a bit further. Maybe an idea starts happening because there's a little bit that's actually really working and it looks really good and you want to take that part and expand on it. So I'm going to walk you through just a couple of ideas today. So let's talk about trying new things. Now, if I go through my book, this is a book where I absolutely explore new ideas, new materials and things like that. So if we look through here, you'll see, and it's not always successful. I mean, here's a little collaged chicken made from paper that I have painted up myself. And that's something I want to talk about because one of my favorite things to do is to print and paint paper for collaging. So it's completely original and it's fun to do. Yeah, that's something that I love. Now, this series may take a couple of episodes to get through because there's so many things I'd love to talk about. And in fact, I'd love to expand on all of these processes, but I'll try and keep it really quick for these introductory 10-minute lessons. Things like, something like this in my book is an exploration. I'll go like this, which is literally just taping off the page, using a paint and roller and painting a background color, then using stencils. And I have so many. This is my stencil box. Actually, that's one of my stencil boxes. And anytime I find interesting stencils, I snap them up. Yeah, because you never know. And I'm always looking for new, different ways of patterns and designs for paper craft. Okay, so yeah, this one is using stencils. Different kinds of stencil layered, and then using a white gel pen for adding in details. There is another one that I'm looking for. There it is. I love this. Okay, it looks like a constellation, and to me, not a constellation. It looks like a galaxy, a Milky Way, something like that. Okay, so that's one thing among a multiple of things. So let's just look at that. So far, I've talked to you about stenciling to create designs that you can just play with. I'm stenciling to create paper that you can collage with. I want to show you today another thing that I find incredibly fun is a gel plate. So this is a gel plate. It's literally made of like a jelly-like substance. This one is well used. And what I like to do is roll out colour. Now I wanted to find a Payne's Grey for this. Okay. Now, so for using a gel press or a gel plate, so this is a gel press. It's a gel plate. Gel press is one brand. There's lots of brands. You can even learn how to make them yourself at home. You need a gel plate and you need not a roller, you need a brayer. Okay, you need acrylic paint. You can use all sorts of materials on a gel plate. Yeah, so much to explore. My goodness, my mind is boggling thinking about it. Okay, but I'm going to give you a little example of things you can do. One thing you can do. There's a million things you can do. With a gel plate, you can take some acrylic paint, and we're just going to pop a bead of it down straight onto the plate. I'm going to use my brayer, and I'm going to start rolling it out. Of course, picking up my brayer as I roll. You don't want too much paint on a gel plate. You don't want it too thick. You want it a nice, smooth, even cover. Now, I like to clean off my roller on a piece of paper because then that paper becomes collaging paper and you end up with some beautiful things going on those. Okay, so I've inked up my gel plate. You can press anything into a gel plate. You can get plants, flowers, objects, anything that has a texture. you can press it into a gel plate and take a print of it, which is the beauty. And that's where my little friend Ted comes from. Ted has been through the ringer, but I love him, and he's ready for another round of gel plate fun. So I'm going to take Ted and I'm going to try and like not move him too much as I push him down onto the plate. Come on, Ted, we can do it. I want his little ears in there, his face, his little legs, his little arms. I'm trying not to move him too much. Then what I'm going to do is, I hope you can you see that? I've got a little imprint of Ted on the plate. Okay, now I'm going to take, you could just take any kind of paper that you like for this, but I'm going to get some previously printed up paper that I've made earlier, and I'm going to lay it down. I'm going to rub the back so that all of the paint gets picked up from the gel plate. Sometimes people just leave the paper on the plate for quite a while if they need to, and you can layer things up. This is the beauty of it. There's different layers you can get into. You can thin the paint so that the layers show through each other. It's just a magical and fun thing to play with. And there's a little print of Teddy. And what I could do with this little print now, I could go ahead once it's dry and like either collage in or draw in his eyes and features and whatever else I want in it. But this is just a really fun tool. Now I'm going to pop that aside. I'm going to grab, why not? I didn't bring, okay, so we've got Ted. Magically there's some white paint on the table. How did that happen? And I'm going to add in his little eyes. Wish me luck. Where were they? Little things like eyes and how big they are, how close together, how high up, how low down they are on a face, really makes a difference. Now poor Ted's nose is off kilter, but I'm going to put it a little more central. Maybe and that's him so far. He looks grumpy. He's so grumpy. He's had it with me. He has had it with me and my shenanigans. Anyway, I'm just gonna wing this. Okay, so there's a little print of a very grumpy bear. Okay, that was a little demonstration on one particular thing you could explore. Yeah, this week's episode is all about finding new things to use, to paint with, to draw with. There's so many different materials and ways of making art. It's inexhaustive. You know, get out into the art stores, look what's there, go online, see interesting ways of doing things and try it for yourself and see what comes out of it. I guarantee there'll be some inspiration. I am going to continue with showing you a few more things that you could use to continue your exploration of art materials. Thank you very much and happy creating.